Okay, as you can see, I'm in my new office. Well, it's not technically my office, but anyway. So, it's been like a zillion years since I put a new one up, and it's not really my fault. Long story short, my dad screwed up our Wi-Fi, so I couldn't use the laptop until the webcam was set up here. Anyway, so I have a bone to pick. I recently saw this thing about the FCC wanting to control the internet. And is it just me, or are they never happy? They are never satisfied. They gotta nitpick at every little thing. And here's the thing, I wouldn't care that much if they went and tried to clean up a little bit by getting rid of some of the one of the zillion porn sites out there. I don't care. But I don't like the concept of having to wonder if at one point on any site I go on, if I dare swear, that instead of me saying a certain swear, that I'm gonna get the first letter and star, 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 star. That is really annoying. It's like, if I wanted to say that, I would have said that. I really want that the actual word, even in casual sense, and that is not cool. See, they're stopping certain programming because it's bad for kids. I understand that. Unfortunately, our kids are growing up way faster than any of us really wanted to know. So, it's not even like we're winning. I understand whenever they were formed that they were probably very useful because we had a shitload of kids around that had the innocence thing going on. Now we got 13-year-olds talking about doing drugs. We're not winning. We're teaching our kids to, oh, hey, look, instead of going and getting this doll or being imaginative or anything, look, why don't you go get these pair of shoes that come with this lovely cell phone? And it's not even a real cell phone, it's a cell phone with makeup. Okay? So we're teaching our kids to go and play video games that are violent, to go and get materialistic things that have a slight teenage thing to them that maybe a kid at 9 should not be messing with. It's not okay. And that's how you get kids that are, how you get risque videos of kids acting older than they should be. That's how you get kids that are getting in trouble because they're getting in fights, they're doing drugs, they're doing, you got stuff in middle school happening with sex, okay? And even when I was in middle school, I knew that stuff was going on. I didn't say anything, but I heard people talking about it a lot. And even if it wasn't really going on, they're just talking about it, it still shouldn't be talked about by that age. And so the FCC is basically wasting its time. I don't like that they have to control everything. I feel like the government is trying to control way too many things now, to the point that the freedoms that we have that are built upon this whole country's system is about freedom, we're running out of them. And we're not being able to speak up and say anything anymore. Like it's a bad thing. And I understand being politically correct because you don't want to, it's not fair to be mean to other people just because of a certain thing about them. You don't like that they're gay, that's fine. But you don't need to insult them. I understand that. And I understand, okay, well, if you don't like, different ethnicities, that's fine too. But that doesn't mean you need to insult them either. So, I understand that. What I don't understand is trying to control every single thing we do. In theory, like the whole healthcare thing, in theory, that is a great idea, healthcare, because there are a lot of people that can't afford it or people that refuse to go to a doctor when they need to because they cannot afford to go. They are people that maybe they should be going, children that should be going, but they are falling through the cracks. I understand that. But having the government control it, it's easy for them to basically just want it for money. And unfortunately, that's a part of human nature that they're just going to want it for the money, not for the actual goodwill reason that, would make it something that I would understand and be happy about. The problem is, it's way too easy for, like, say someone from, like, say an older person needs an expensive surgery. It's way too easy for the possibility for them to be like, oh, well, they're old, they've had a long life, it doesn't matter if they have grandkids, we're just going to refuse that they get this really expensive surgery because they've lived long enough. And it's like, that's really cold. And it's quite possible that that could happen just for the main purpose of the money side of it. And I feel like there's certain limits to how much the government should control. I understand some things, and then there are other things I feel like they're trying to take away our privacy and take away our right to say certain things or to be who we are. You know, when I swear, I don't swear like in anger. I don't do it to be a bitch. You know, I do it because it's just a casual thing. To me, those are just words. I don't really see how they're that big a deal. I'm very, you know, people do it left and right, and it's not even that they do it, that's just how I talk, you know? And it's not even like it's that big a deal to me. So to have people try to meddle in what you're doing, it's like a little ridiculous. For me, you know, I personally am one of those people that I'm curious about certain things, that why are we so against this? What is wrong with this? I understand some things, but there are other things that make no sense to me. As I've said in, like, you know, my religion thing, I feel like the government is too controlled by certain religions. You know what I mean? There are too many lobbyists for certain companies. There are too many, you know, own greed, own interest in this. And you always see commercials about how these politicians are different, and they aren't. They're just doing it, they're lying, and then they get in there and they do the same exact thing as the person before them. So it's like, you know, and you get like this religious thing. Okay, we're supposed to be a country that is based on religious freedom, that we accept anybody and everybody, all ethnicities, you know, and that's the reason I don't understand the whole gay thing. It's like, if they're gay, it's basically, it's sort of almost like, you know, accepting an ethnicity. It's a it's a preference. It's who they are. It's not that big a deal. But, you know, that's the thing. We're supposed to accept all religions, right? Yet we are, it's very easily swayed by what the Christian preference is. I don't have anything, I have some issues with Christianity, but I'm not going to go and, you know, I'm not going to go and fight with them about it. But I don't think it's right that the government is basically running around doing what is proper protocol for a Christian family. If these families aren't Christian, or they say they're Christian and they don't even go to church, I don't see what the point is with that. This is not the 1950s anymore. We are not cookie cutter. We do not have that many families that are that stable home. And we have so many people that are doing so many different things that's becoming a bit chaotic. But we don't have these typical, you know, Christian families and Christian households walking around like little Happy Meals. You know, we don't have that. We don't anymore. And unfortunately, our age of innocence is dying. Our kids are getting this thing. Like, Nickelodeon. I don't know if anyone's noticed, but Nickelodeon is basically doing only two things now. There's stuff for the little bitty babies, and then there's stuff for the teenagers. There's no in between. So now either you're a tiny baby or you're a teenager. So there is, you know, I thought they're showing reruns. They're running out of ideas. And unfortunately, it's causing this sort of, I feel like it's sort of causing this impression that either you're really young or you're going to be a shallow teenager. You know what I mean? You have to go out and, for girls, you have to go out and get makeup and cell phones and everything else that you don't need. You know, and you probably wouldn't even need till like later in middle school. You know what I mean? I'm thinking like 8th, 7th grade middle school. You don't need it before then. But they're pushing it so that people want to do more. Like, kids want to go do this more. And it's not a good thing. So, yeah, I'm just a little frustrated with all this because it just seems really stupid and a waste of time. And yeah, I know this is probably really annoying to people and they don't get it and whatever, but I'm just saying. It doesn't make sense. We're wasting our time. Nothing is happening. And I think it's our kids that are going to suffer for it. So, yeah. Thanks for listening. Sorry for the rant.